While game releases have been rather light in the first few weeks of 2018, it is finally picking up a little bit this week, and in this video, we're going over 7 big new game releases this week, a mix of enhanced edition titles, original titles, and more. Let's get right into this. InnerSpace. InnerSpace is an upcoming adventure game developed by a new studio known as Polyknight Games. It was help funded through Kickstarter, and these are the type of games that you want to see funded through Kickstarter. It's a very unique game, and it draws inspiration from character-driven narrative titles such as Journey and Grow Home. And InnerSpace is all about exploration and flying set in the inverse, a world of inside-out planets with no horizons. You soar through ancient skies and abandoned oceans to discover the lost history of this fading realm where gods still wander. It's a very unique game, and it's hitting all platforms: Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC on January 16th. Kerbal Space Program Enhanced Edition. Kerbal Space Program is coming back to the PlayStation 4 in the form of the Enhanced Edition, which will be free for anyone who already owns the previous version of Kerbal Space Program on PS4. The Enhanced Edition is built from the 1.2.2 loud and clear release. This means it comes with plenty of extra features and goodness in addition to the overall improvements on the PlayStation 4. It'll have new communication network capabilities between Kerbal Space Center and launch spacecraft, an overhaul to the SAS system that assists your flight stability, and more. It's always nice to see enhanced editions like this whenever it is free for those of you that own the original copy. Had they released this and charged for owners of the previous title, that would be a shame, but that is not the case, and Kerbal Space Program Enhanced Edition hits PS4 and Xbox One on January 16th. Speaking of enhanced editions, we've got one on a little bit bigger of a scale in Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. Street Fighter V Arcade Edition is an upgrade to Street Fighter V, which was one of the more disappointing games of this generation, but this updated version will hopefully be what Street Fighter V should have launched at. It will be $39.99 for the standard edition, and it is a free update for those who already own the original version. That is great, because we've seen in the past that you would have to buy Street Fighter titles multiple times. That is not the case here. If you pick up the Arcade Edition, it will feature all the original playable characters, including the 12 DLC fighters, an arcade mode, which was one of the surprising absence of Street Fighter V, and other new modes as well, and visual refinements. Hopefully with Street Fighter V Arcade Edition, Street Fighter can once again re-emerge in the mainstream fighting game world, because there are a lot of great fighting games out there, and Street Fighter V has to be quality if it wants to compete with those titles like Injustice 2, Tekken 7, and so on. We'll find out when Street Fighter V Arcade Edition hits PS4 and PC on January 16th. World to the West on Nintendo Switch. One of the reasons for the Switch's massive success has been third-party support and a lot of indie titles coming to the Switch. The library is growing at a rapid pace, and a big reason for that is a lot of existing titles coming over to the Switch, but even if they are existing titles, these are great games, and the Switch does offer an innovative way to experience these games because of its portable design. For those of you that don't know what World to the West is, it's an action-adventure game developed by Rain Games. It builds upon their other title, Teslagrad, which has been a big hit. World to the West is a cartoony top-down action-adventure game inspired by European adventure comics. You take control of 4 unique characters, each with their distinct design and personality. They've also got their own motivations, skills, and interweaving storylines that bring them together. You travel through corrupt colonies, lush jungles, and frozen tundras as you snoop through the secrets of a forgotten civilization. World to the West hits the Nintendo Switch on January 18th. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory. Digimon games definitely don't have the recognition of Pokemon games. They are not at that level, but they still have their niche audience, and there's definitely a portion of you out there that are big fans of Digimon, and it's great to see more Digimon games being brought over stateside. And here's the latest game, a new entry into the Digimon Story franchise, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory. This builds upon the previous release, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, however, it does also feature a lot of the same. There's actually similar environments, but of course it does feature a new story and an expanded amount of Digimons that you can collect. And what was great about Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth was that it actually had a pretty good story to it as well that made the game a lot more engaging, that added another layer of depth to Digimon Story's rather simplistic gameplay. There's other things to get engaged into within the game. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory hits the PS4 and PS Vita on January 19th. Kirby Battle Royale. This is not your traditional Kirby game, which may be a little bit of a disappointment, but we are going to be seeing that on the Nintendo Switch, so you won't have to wait too long for that. However, for now, we are seeing Kirby Battle Royale, a brawler game played from a top-down perspective. You play as Kirby and must battle against other versions of himself in an arena. The game itself features a single-player story campaign along with cooperative play and multiplayer battle modes that are available locally and online. There's a total of 10 different game modes on top of the Cake Royale story mode. Kirby Battle Royale hits the Nintendo 3DS on January 19th. And finally, we also want to give a mention to the Darwin Project Open Beta. Darwin Project is the latest in the wave of Battle Royale games, but this one looks very interesting. It's a little bit different in that it's only 10 players, and Darwin Project takes place in a dystopian post-apocalyptic landscape in the northern Canadian Rockies. As preparation for an impending ice age, a new project, half science experiment, half live entertainment is launched, called the Darwin Project, and it challenges 10 participants to survive the cold and fight to the death in a treacherous arena. Stylistically, it looks pretty interesting, and for these games to be a success at this point, they have to differentiate themselves from the pack and offer a different kind of experience than your PUBGs and your Fortnites are offering to be an engaging experience. Darwin Project is going into open beta on PC this week. You'll be able to play it on January 19th, 20th, and 21st. For exact times, you can play it Friday noon Pacific time to Sunday 9 p.m. Pacific time. For Eastern, it's Friday 3 p.m. to Sunday midnight. If you're a fan of Battle Royale style games, maybe check out the Darwin Project Open Beta. It might surprise us.
Inside a cabin, it looks like that outline represented, picked up by the clue. Now we got the cloak going on. We can see Immortal Unicorn here creeping up out in the cabin. Shot in the back of the head is no good for him. He's in trouble. There goes the bubble. How did that happen? Looks like somebody from Mixer decided they wanted to mix it up, and the fight is going to go on just outside with Immortal Unicorn going back and forth, breaking the armor. That bubble is out. He's in trouble. Shot to the chest. Knocks him off the cliff, and this game is done. Bloody marrow.
So that wraps up 7 big game releases this week. What do you think? Are you checking out any of these games? They are a little bit lower key, some enhanced edition titles. No real big budget AAA experience, but a couple of interesting titles such as Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory, InnerSpace looks really good, and Street Fighter V Arcade Edition is something to look out for. Sound off in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.